Hi there, it's Vicky McCarthy from Aussie Stampers. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I have cased a card from the new catalogue. It's on page 18 and it uses the Celebrate Today stamp set. And here's the card. And the stamps you'll need for this card are the solid balloon, the heart shapes, and the word Celebrate. The card pieces you will need are a smoky slate card base, and this measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. I'll have all these measurements on my blog in the metric as well. If you're a metric person, you can see them on my blog. The layering piece of smoky slate is 5 11/16 by 4 inches. Then there is a designer series paper piece in smoky slate and white, and this measures 3 7/8 of an inch by 2 3/4 inches. And the stamped image will go on the Whisper White piece, the same size, 3 7/8 of an inch by 2 3/4 inches. And the designer series paper comes from the Neutrals designer series paper stack. And it has a nice diagonal stripe, which I think goes well with this project. The other things you'll need are some Watermelon Wonder ink, some Flirty Flamingo ink, and some Cucumber Crush ink. Next, some rhinestones, some Whisper White thick twine, some mini glue dots, a paper piercer, your Stampin' Up! Stapler, an embossing folder, and some snail. Now I've chosen to use the Elegant Dots embossing folder. The example in the catalogue uses Softly Falling. I'm just going to deboss the flap of the envelope, so make sure you put it into your folder so that when the flap comes out, it's debossed. And if I open it up, you can see the embossed side is on the inside of the flap there. And this will match the debossing on the smoky slate layering piece. So I'm going to pop this into the embossing folder now and run it through the Big Shot. And that's now been embossed with Elegant Dots. I'm bringing in my piercing stamp mat, or Stampin' Pierce mat rather, and I'm going to ink up that solid balloon image with the Flirty Flamingo ink and offset it up towards the top right hand corner of the page, just off the page, like so. And you can see there's a white piece there where I've missed the ink. So I'm going to bring in a blender pen and I'll show you an easy fix. Take your blender pen directly to the stamp, pick up some of that ink, and just blend away until that little imperfection is gone. So that's a handy hint for you. Now I'm going to bring in the stars image and ink up the Watermelon Wonder ink, layer that on top. And next some Cucumber Crush on the word Celebrate, which is going to the lower left hand side, about 2/3 of the way down. Take your Whisper White twine, divide it into half down the centre, pull it apart, it pulls apart quite easily. Now you've got a much finer, thinner piece. Bring in your paper piercer, and I like to tie a knot around that just to get my bow started so I can form the bow around it. And slide it off and just shape it the way you want it to be. Set that aside when you've done that. Now it's time to layer up the pieces. So offset on the diagonal, that Whisper White piece and the designer series paper. Bring in your stapler and put 2 staples in close together, and then turn it to the opposite side and the same again, 2 staples in close together. Now bring in your embossed piece and make sure you put the snail on the embossed side because you want the debossed side to be on the front of the card facing up. Just centre that. And now it's time to adhere the image on the top And I've just sloped it slightly down to the left. Put plenty of snail on this because it has some heavy elements and some staples in there, so you want this to be really firmly adhered. Line it up and pop that on. Our card is coming together. So take a mini glue dot and pop it on where you would see a string on the balloon, and that's where the bow's going. Pop that in there and you can trim that to the length you want with your scissors. And the final step is just to bring in some medium-sized rhinestones just to finish off the card. And I really like the way the silver rhinestones bring out the silver staples as well. So there's that hint of silver in the smoky slate, then in the staples and the rhinestones. And there's your card finished. So I hope you enjoyed that project today. I'll be casing more things from the new annual catalogue, and I hope you will come back and see some more of those. I'll just give you a close-up look there so you can see that debossing technique. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks very much for stopping by. Bye for now.